Update on the Carolina hooker here. I had to redo my seats and the Carolina blue ones and replace with these camo. So I'm gonna get some pink and take care of that. But as y'all can see, I got my net man here, Tim. He came right on time checking out my new modifications. You see that hole he's playing with right there? Let me show you something. Wait a minute, let me show you. I moved my seat over with my hatch cover. Took my knife and that styrofoam because I wanted it sealed off. So I cut a lot of it out and it was flaking out like popcorn everywhere. So what I did was took my torch, turned it on, went around there real fast, and it melted that stuff and made it solid just like a cooler. Just like one of the styrofoam coolers. Good idea, right? Yeah. Good idea, right? And I can use it for storage or I can use it for a live well, possible for minerals if I wanted to. And just put the cap on. Everything I got is flush mount. Got the seat over there. Got my gas tank and my storage stuff back here. I throw the battery right there. And I got the gas over on this side because since I had to set the seat off a little bit to that side to counter the weight up, that balances the weight up because see, I got my steering column right here. It's tied down still. But I got my steering column side. It sits to the left of the seat so I can steer. And look at all this space up here. Got me another what I was wanting. Another 25 Emerald that pushes this sucker like a racehorse. And the thing about it is the other one that was on here was a long shaft. So it was too much weight. Had that bracket to make the adjustments. So it was adding on even more weight with that back here. And then you had that long tail dragging the bottom. So got that situation squared away. And I got it now so that when this boat's in the water, you see how the water line is right here? What's that, maybe 3 inches? Yep. And if I'm in the front, it's even down to like here. But it's perfect because I hit the shallow spots. And remember, this is a 1971 boat. When I go out and fish all day, I can come back in and it still be dry, dust around the plug hole right there. Because the old stuff was made good. Don't take water in like these new boats. Got my seat right here. Whoever's sitting in it is good and comfortable. If I want to, when I get where I'm going, I can raise it up. And I got the pedestal. Sit up even higher. But I don't worry about that because that's up to the second mate. Added me some more rod holders, so now I got 8 across the deck. Look at all this space. Look at all this space. And one thing I learned right here, I got my boat powder. Never leave the dock without it, because the first trip out, that's another story. Me and my uncle went out there with just a trolling motor just to test the boat out, and didn't realize we was out there all day and ran out of juice with the trolling motor. Like I said, that's a story I'll let him tell. But never, ever, ever, I don't care how good your gas motor and your trolling motor running, never, ever, ever, ever leave without a powder. Like they say, up the creek without a powder, that's a bad feeling. And right here, you can see that solar panel. I'll explain what that is. Another storage and another storage hatch. But this works. All of that space, like all this big gap right here, is the same thing. The other bench seat was right here. So you had all this open space up to that front hump. So now look, got the platform. I got all my life jackets, anchors, 2 toolboxes, all kind of stuff down there. All that storage, and it's not wasted at all. Everything's in there. It's huge. Even got the battery. The battery for the trolling motor's in there. And then I got another hatch right here where I can disconnect the trolling motor and stuff when I get back. So it won't have no kind of drain, or if the kids come out here playing around, they might accidentally turn something on and leave it on. Got my foot operating trolling motor. Then I got my mount for my fish finder. I got a Helix 7 with the side view and all that. Got my seat up here, the pedestal seat. I can sit right there and chill and put everything down with my foot. Go right to where I need to go. And that leads up to this other, see my trolling motor over there? It lays down flat, drops down, everything's perfect. But I got one more modification that I'm gonna show you that I thought about yesterday when I finished everything, but I had to order the rod holder. What I'm gonna do is, you got guys like that guy right there. If you catching big fish and they not, them guys are slow to get you the net. So I came up with an idea last night. Let me show you what this here is too. This, like I said, this is my solar panel. It's mounted, it's bolted down, it's flat. You can step on it, you can do whatever you want. It's just indestructible, whatever you call it, indestructible. And the wires run down through, it's run to the trolling battery, keeps the trolling battery fully charged while it's in the yard, and also while you're using it, it's getting the sun consistently charging it, so it never drops down below 75%. But the story I tell you about me and my uncle learned the hard way. I didn't have this on there at that point because I had just finished the boat. I hadn't put none of this stuff on there. The trolling motor that I had was the one that bolts down on the side, all that stuff. But I learned the hard way. Back to this last modification that I learned for guys like that. These guys are something. If you get a big fish, these guys, I've seen them. I ain't gonna say him, I just say these guys. I've seen them do all kinds of tricks. They used to ask them, grab the net, grab the net. They'll grab the net, and I've seen them pretend that boat seat is a fish. Instead of them coming at your fish like this here to try to scoop him, I've seen them come in sideways like that and try to knock your fish off the hook. They do all kind of stuff to try to make you lose him. So what I learned last night, what I thought about was, you know what? If I'm sitting in that chair right there, hey, say hello, Bryson. Say hey. Say hey, fishing world. Thought about, if I'm sitting in this seat here, I got the foot operating trolling motor. That way I don't have to worry about depending on them to keep the boat right for me, because I know they'll run my line off and cut it off to make sure I lose them. They'll do that. So I said, you know what? My hands are free. I got the foot operating trolling motor. I can put myself right where I need to be. I said, you know what? What if I put me a vertical rod holder right here? I can drop my net right down here in arm's reach, and I won't have to depend on them for nothing. I won't have to worry about them knocking my fish off. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop me a rod holder right here. Can't use no pipe because they don't have a top. I gotta get the extra rod holder with the lip. I'm gonna drill me a hole right here, and look, that's right in arm reach behind my seat. So when I get that old big one, I can pull him right in. I don't have to worry about somebody knocking him off. Ain't that right, Tio?
Yeah, that's right. Good idea.
Like I said, see all my good rod holders I got back here now? That way the rods is standing straight up across the back. It separates the front of the boat from the back of the boat, because I've had one guy, I ain't gonna say his name, Italy Holmes, but what his problem was, he wanted to sit up there in the front seat, but he wanted to fish back here behind the back of the boat. And I'm saying, why in the world would you sit in the front seat and throw and cast and do only fish behind them? This is the 2 rod holders I added in the back. So when you go from one location to the other, you can stand your rods up straight in there like that, because the man back here really shouldn't be fished with no more than 2 rods at one time. And then when he get to one location, he say he's fishing on that side of the boat. Well, he can cast the rod way off on this side and bottom fish, and he can stick it in that rod holder right there, so it's sideways, out of the way, and out of his way. So he got all that area right there, all of that. He can fish on the other side, and he still got a rod holder if he need it. So guess what? It's about time, and D Holmes fishing camp is getting ready to get busy.